I've removed a page from a magazine. Uh, I had one attempt at this before, and I'm going to try to improve upon it. But the idea is basically to create some kind of edge that frames the drawing. And uh, we call that a spatial edge. Right? We're outlining an area of interest. I think we can improve on this a little bit, but let's see. Let's put that aside. Take a piece of trace, and let's see what we can do. So we're using the edge of this entourage. We want to stop there. Let's see. Maybe I wanted to stop in the corner there. Well, I'm going to commit to it. Let's say that our vanishing point there will converge some perspective. Now, how much of this we're going to include that chair? I think what we're going to do is just go around it. I could do this orthogonally. Don't want to include too much information because it could even be an irregular shape. But let's say that this is the area that I want to draw into. A little bit about this chair. Let's see if we can record some more of this information. There's a base that's circular, and you guys know how to deal with that from having studied ellipses. So it's got some sides, pillow. We can look at that a little more closely after we're removing the trace paper. So it's about what we've got going on. And there's some coffers in the wall. One of the reasons I selected this photograph, there's a very limited color palette. So it's got some other stuff going on. It looks like there might be a giant door back there, but I'm going to ignore that. Picture side as a reference. What I mean by limited color palette is a lot of some background. There's some stuff we'll show through. So here are my earth tones, and my grays are in a container over here. You don't need all of these, but just for illustration purposes, we'll talk about this. So there's a lighter reddish wood over there that I'm going to call burnt ochre, might be a bit yellow. So you just draw and see what it is that you have. Right? That red, that Tuscan red might be appropriate, maybe for that. We got a darker earth tone, the chair itself. Actually, it's pretty intensely dark. It's more like a burnt umber. So it's, I think I have a sienna brown. And it's not quite enough, but let's see. Let's see that. So I did use this. It's really not enough. Let's go with the sienna brown. I'm pretty sure this is what I used. I'm going to wash over that so that this is first, something of a color base, base layer. I'm not doing that chair. I need to draw a line before it meets the wall, somewhere in between. Oh, that's right, back there. Gray. Seven value. I'm going to be out of markers right now. So. It's dark in there. It's actually dark inside of all of this. Darker, right? Underneath the edge of the chair. Something, right? Beneath it is a bit. Okay, we haven't drawn anything for the floor yet. And there's kind of a light value. That doesn't work at all. Directly below, right? There's gray against these walls, and okay, this is that is much too light. But it's always good to work from light to dark. So we need something 7, 5. It's a little bit closer. I'm basically starting to pencil in. This one's way dark. settings. It's 50%. Generally the numbers, and that's kind of a warmer color against the wall. So I think that gray, some of that will do for now. Maybe we want to amplify these edges that we see. It's more of what's going on there. Again, you're starting, you've created, and you're responding to marks that you've already made in here. At some point or another, we will have something that we think works. Trace is a little deceiving because it takes, when the mark dries, it's a little bit lighter, right? So that's a W9. You need something in between, for the rest of that. Now the floor. Remember we talked about vanishing point being right, somewhere in the middle of the drawing. What you do is sort of imagine that it's there. I did draw a dot there, so we'll use that. I'm just now taking some lines and extending from that to create a sort of outline of what appears to be some wood slat flooring. Right? And you can make these more frequent intervals. Right? So we have something like that going on. And then we need a series of earth tones for the floor. Let's start with something light. Brick beige, sand. We have eggshell. There's sand. When you work with flooring, I think it's a good idea to use the straight edge if you can, because it really gives a sense. I'm just drawing this. Okay, so we're beginning. There's some earth color to the floor. What else is here? This one. So once you have enough parallel lines, I suppose you can go freehand. That's yellow ochre. It's a little too red. Burnt ochre. A little darker. Let's use a straight edge again. I'm losing control of the line. be enough. You can wash in the remaining area with a lighter color, right? Because you've established essentially that. Now, there's some highlights. This is where the pencil comes in. Let's see if we get a W5. It's a cool 5, but this might do. Let's see. Yeah, that's a bit darker. Starting with it. You can also use a blender to sort of mix those colors. So I do. At this point, you can take maybe that really is dark area beneath the chair and pretty intensely in that corner there, the edge of see. Highlight. White pencil lines straight up and down give the impression of reflection. You can also create some highlight. Gray. So you can use some of that. Include in the wall as well. Pencil eventually becomes a dead end, so you got to be careful because there's no going back from that. So let's see if that